The women who look effortlessly put together aren't spending more time or money getting ready. They're spending the first 5 minutes of their morning completely differently, before a single mirror, before any makeup, before anything you'd actually call a beauty routine at all. 5 specific habits, none of them costing anything, and I'm giving you all 5 right now. Habit 4 is the one that surprises people most, because it has nothing to do with what you put on your face. It's about how you actually look at yourself in the mirror, and most of us have been doing it wrong for years without realizing it. Here's the thread connecting all 5. None of this is about your face. It's about your mind, ready before your face ever is. Because the energy you're carrying shapes how put together you actually look far more than any product could. If this is already reframing how you think about your own mornings, go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you're new here. This channel exists to hand you the real system behind Nordic living, and it genuinely helps to have you here for the rest of it. Habit 1. 1 full minute of silence before you touch your phone. Not meditation, not an app, nothing guided. Just 60 seconds of nothing before the world has a chance to arrive. I resisted this for years, genuinely believing that checking messages first thing was efficient, getting ahead of the day before it got ahead of me. What I didn't understand was what that first minute was actually doing to my nervous system. The moment your eyes open, your mind is at its most impressionable, closer to a sponge than anything else, absorbing whatever the first input is and letting it color the emotional tone of everything that follows. Fill that minute with notifications, headlines, other people's demands, and your brain shifts into a kind of low-grade alert mode before you've even sat up. And that alertness tends to carry through the rest of the morning, whether you notice it happening or not. The shift. Before your phone, before anything, 60 seconds of genuinely doing nothing. It sounds too small to matter. The first time I actually tried it, I was certain it would feel pointless. It didn't. Habit 2. Drinking a glass of warm water slowly, with actual attention, rather than gulping it down as one more task to check off before coffee. I used to treat water the same way I treated everything else in a rushed morning. Fast, functional, barely noticed. There's no dramatic transformation hiding in this habit, and I don't want to oversell it. What it does, quietly, is give your body a clear signal that a new day has genuinely begun. And slowing down enough to actually notice drinking something pulls your mind out of race mode and into rhythm, even if just slightly, even just for those few minutes. The shift. 1 glass, warm if you can manage it, taken slowly enough that you're actually present for it, rather than swallowed in 3 seconds standing at the counter, already thinking about the next thing. Habit 3. And this is the one that changed my own mornings the most, more than any other on this list. Deciding what you're wearing the night before. Not standing in front of a closet each morning, working through it fresh. I want to be clear, this isn't about owning fewer clothes or having some minimalist capsule wardrobe. It's about not spending decision-making energy on something that doesn't need to happen at 7 a.m., half awake, already running behind. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. Your brain has a genuinely limited amount of decision-making energy each day, and spending a chunk of it on this or that before you've even had coffee means less is available later for decisions that actually matter. There's a real logic behind lagom here. Not too much, not too little. Just enough choice to feel like yourself without drowning in options every single morning. The shift. 5 minutes the night before, choosing tomorrow's outfit so your morning self isn't negotiating with a closet full of nearly identical decisions before the day has even properly started. We've covered silence, water, and decision-making. 3 small shifts that happen before you've even reached a mirror. What's left is the piece that actually changes how you look at yourself once you get there, and then the mindset that ties this entire morning together. Now, habit 4, the one I promised, and it's genuinely the one that surprised me most once I actually understood it. Most of us use a mirror as a judge, scanning for what's wrong before we've even said good morning to ourselves. Tired eyes, a spot, hair that won't cooperate. I want you to try something different. Using the mirror as a check-in instead, asking one honest question before anything else. How am I actually feeling right now? Not how do I look? How do I feel? A woman I once worked with, well into her 70s, told me something I've never forgotten. A mirror isn't your enemy. It's just showing you your own energy. That reframed something for me completely. We scan for skin, but rarely notice how tired our eyes actually look from something other than sleep. We notice hair, but not how tense our shoulders have become without us registering it. There's real psychology behind naming a feeling honestly, even briefly, acknowledging I'm a little anxious today, rather than pushing past it, actually helps your brain begin processing that emotion, which tends to soften the tension that would otherwise sit quietly on your face all morning without you tracing it back to its source. The shift, before any makeup, before getting ready in any conventional sense, one honest minute with yourself in the mirror, genuinely asking how you're feeling, not what needs fixing. Sometimes what a morning actually needs isn't concealer. It's simply being asked the question honestly, once, by the one person whose opinion should matter most. And habit 5, the last one. And it's not really about beauty or skincare or fashion at all. It's the piece that makes someone feel genuinely put together from the inside, regardless of what they're actually wearing. In Danish life, there's a real respect for the ordinary moment, not chasing an idealized, perfected version of a day before it's even started, but simply being fully present for the one you're actually having. So much of what makes a morning feel chaotic isn't the external mess. It's starting the day already counting what's wrong. My face looks dull. My hair won't cooperate. I'm running late again without realizing it. That internal list sends your own mind a quiet message. I'm not okay yet. And once your mind accepts that framing, your whole body tends to carry it through the day, whether you consciously notice or not. The shift Danish mornings lean on instead is smaller and quieter. Not, I need to be perfect today, but I'm ready to meet today calmly, as I actually am. Notice there's no mention of appearance in that sentence at all. And yet that's precisely where genuine composure actually starts, because real confidence was never really built from a product. It's built from a kind of internal steadiness that has very little to do with what's on your face and everything to do with what's happening underneath it. I've watched this distinction play out constantly, organizing homes and getting to know the women who lived in them. Some people can be dressed simply, nothing elaborate at all, and the moment you're near them, there's an ease that settles the whole room. Others can be perfectly, elaborately put together, and somehow the tension around them is the first thing you notice anyway. The difference was never really in the outfit. It's in the energy underneath it, and that energy takes its shape in the first few minutes of the morning, long before anyone's actually gotten dressed. Here's the full sequence in order. 1 minute of genuine silence before your phone. A glass of water, taken slowly, with real attention. Tomorrow's outfit decided tonight, not negotiated fresh each morning. An honest check-in with the mirror, asking how you feel rather than what needs fixing, and walking out the door with one quiet intention, not perfection, just presence. None of these 5 habits cost anything. None require a product, a skill, or extra time carved dramatically out of an already busy morning. If anything, several of them save time, rather than adding it, because a mind that isn't scattered across a dozen small, unmade decisions moves through a morning far more efficiently than one negotiating everything fresh, one thing at a time, under pressure. I think the biggest misunderstanding about women who always seem effortlessly composed is assuming it comes from more resources, better products, more free time, some natural advantage the rest of us simply weren't given. What I've actually seen over and over is that composure is the result of a routine, and a routine was never something you could buy at a store. It's built from small, repeated decisions. A minute of silence, a glass of water, one less decision to make at 7 a.m., an honest look in the mirror, and a mindset that walks out the door already settled, rather than still scrambling to catch up with itself. So the next time you see someone who looks calm and put together and find yourself wondering how, the answer probably isn't in her makeup bag. It's in the 5 minutes before she ever reached for it. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 you're going to try first tomorrow morning. I read every single comment, and if this made you pause and think, even for a moment, share it with someone who could use the reminder that looking composed was never really about what you're wearing. I know the instinct after hearing 5 habits this simple. Surely, something that changes how I look can't come from something this small. I had exactly that reaction myself the first time this was explained to me. And I want to take the skepticism seriously rather than brush past it, because it's a completely fair response to a claim that sounds almost too modest to matter. Here's what actually convinced me eventually. None of these 5 habits work by changing your face directly. They work by changing what your face is reflecting. Tension, exhaustion, and scattered stress all show up physically. In your jaw, around your eyes, in your posture, regardless of what products you've applied on top of them. These 5 habits address the source rather than the surface, which is precisely why they can matter this much, while individually looking this unremarkable. For anyone with a genuinely demanding morning, young children needing breakfast and shoes before school, an early shift that doesn't leave room for a slow start. I want to be honest that a full, unhurried version of all 5 habits in perfect sequence isn't always realistic. What still works, even compressed. The phone stays untouched for even the first 30 seconds, not a full minute, if that's genuinely all you have. Water can be drunk while doing something else, as long as it happens before caffeine rather than after. Clothes decided the night before matters just as much, arguably more, on your busiest mornings, because that's precisely when decision fatigue costs you the most. The mirror check-in can happen in 15 seconds, glancing at your own reflection and simply naming how you feel internally. even mid-motion, rather than requiring a still, quiet moment you don't currently have. I want to say something about the mirror habit specifically, because I think it's the one people misunderstand most easily. This isn't about avoiding your reflection or refusing to notice anything practical. If you genuinely need to check for something specific before you walk out the door, that's simply useful information, not a failure of this habit. The distinction is what comes first. Scanning immediately for flaws, before anything else, sets a critical tone for the whole interaction with your own reflection. Asking how you're actually feeling first, then addressing anything practical afterward if needed, changes the entire emotional starting point of that same minute in front of the mirror, even though the actions themselves might end up looking nearly identical from the outside. I also want to acknowledge something about habit 5 specifically, the intention you walk out the door with, because I think it's the easiest of the 5 to dismiss as vague or unfalsifiable. How would you even know if it worked? Here's the honest answer. You probably won't notice a dramatic difference on any single day. What tends to shift gradually is how you respond to small friction throughout a day that's already started calm, rather than already started defensive. A delayed train, an unexpected request, a minor inconvenience. All of these land differently on a nervous system that began the morning steady, versus one that began already bracing for something to go wrong. I think about a woman I organized a home for years ago, genuinely one of the busiest people I've ever worked with. 3 jobs across the household, constant demands, very little spare time by any measure. She was also, consistently, one of the calmest, most composed people I'd ever been around. And for a long time, I assumed it was simply her personality, something she was born with rather than something built. It was months into knowing her before I actually noticed her morning ritual, almost by accident. She was always the first person awake in that house, and she genuinely protected those first few minutes fiercely, before anyone else was up, before her phone, before anything. I asked her about it once, and she said something I still think about. Everyone else gets my full attention all day. Those minutes are the only ones that are mine. That's really what these 5 habits are actually protecting underneath the practical mechanics of each one. A small, defended pocket of time where you're arriving for yourself before you arrive for everyone and everything else. The composure people notice later in the day was never really happening in that moment. It was already decided quietly,